Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and this is your stimulus check update for the next stimulus package for Thursday, January 14th. I hope everyone is off to a good and safe start to their Thursday so far. In this video, I'll be discussing updates in regards to the current relief package and the third stimulus check. I'll also be discussing the $2,000 direct payments, what Joe Biden's plan is expected to be, and then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you would mind real quickly liking this video, give me a big thumbs up. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other viewers like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. Okay, so with Joe Biden's relief proposal expected to be released today, we certainly have a lot to look forward to. Of course, whatever his plan is certainly not going to be the guaranteed plan that actually passes, but it should be a pretty solid outline of what we can expect. With Democrats controlling both chambers in Congress, having a majority in the House, and a 50-50 gridlock in the Senate, with Kamala Harris as the tiebreaker in the Senate, they can pass pretty much whatever they'd like. Of course, one thing that we do need to keep in mind is that in the Senate, they'll still need 60 votes on any bill, which will still require 10 Republican votes, or 5% of them, in order to pass key pieces of legislation. If they're unable to pass it through the Senate, then they'll need to try passing the bills the sneaky way, which is through the budget reconciliation method, where they would only need a simple majority. In Biden's plan, there is expected to be stimulus payments of $2,000, an extension of the unemployment benefits at $300 to $400 per week, an expansion of the child tax credit, aid for state and local, small businesses, vaccine distribution, among other things. More than likely, the $2,000 direct payments will be tied to the last $900 billion relief package, so people who already received the $600 would only receive an additional $1,400. Those who weren't eligible for the $600, such as dependents over the age of 17, may be eligible for the full $2,000. Additionally, even though it's still questionable how much the unemployment insurance will be for in Biden's plan, it's being speculated that it should fall anywhere between $300 to $400 per week. This, despite fellow Democratic Senator Ron Wyden pushing for the reinstatement of the $600 per week unemployment benefits. According to Wyden and other Democrats, the $600 weekly unemployment benefits weren't a disincentive to return to work, even though some lawmakers thought so. So getting these benefits extended early on will help a good bit in ensuring there won't be a lapse once they come to an end at some point in the middle of March. Out of all this, the child tax credit may be the most interesting of all, which could give $3,600 per kid under the age of 6 and $3,000 per kid between the ages of 6 and 17. This is part of Biden's campaign pledge to provide $300 per month to American families for every child under 6, or $250 per month for children over the age of 6 but younger than 17. According to one study, the United States has a much higher rate of child poverty than many of the other developed countries in the world, so this is something that they're looking to change. So if they do decide to include this child tax credit in the bill, that will obviously help out American families big time. That's going to be a major boost for them. So with all these things expected to be included, it's still unknown what the overall price tag is going to be, but more than likely it's going to fall somewhere between $1 and $2 trillion. This is going to be a number far too high for many Republicans, which of course could be an issue getting the 10 votes they need. This is why, as I mentioned earlier, they may need to pass this bill through the budget reconciliation method instead. Through that, as I said, they'll only need a simple majority, which they can gain with ease, as long as Joe Manchin or another Democrat doesn't vote against it. Also, one other thing to note, as I also mentioned in yesterday's video, Republican Senator Marco Rubio is calling on Joe Biden to call on Congress to pass a standalone bill for the $2,000 direct payments. This would be a way to show unity that both Democrats and Republicans are fully on board to send American families those checks, and that they can do it in a bipartisan manner. Of course, whether or not Biden will listen to his Republican colleague is yet to be seen. As mentioned, he's also having Ron Wyden asking him to reinstate the weekly $600 unemployment benefits, and it's unclear whether or not he's going to do that either. Additionally, Brian Deese, the incoming director of the White House National Economic Council, said that Biden's package would have a two-track plan. The first package would be one that focuses solely on the virus pandemic, with another big effort for the economy to follow. The second one, which is supposed to focus more on the economy, such as infrastructure and healthcare, is expected to come at some point later this year. Okay, so To wrap up the stimulus news for today, I'm going to jump into a heartwarming story out of Idaho where a customer used their $600 stimulus check they received to tip their server at a local pizza restaurant. Even though the restaurant already includes an 18% tip on the ticket total for the $100 meal, the man decided to leave an additional $600 anyways. The receipt was posted on Facebook, where the man writes on the receipt that he's been able to work like normal throughout the pandemic, but he's still got stimulus money, so he wanted to share. This is one of the stories where even though the last year has been a rocky one, it gives us hope for the future ahead. Even with everything we've gone through during the last year, we still have people out there with warm hearts willing to give during this time just to put a smile on others' faces. It definitely shows that there are still some pretty incredible people out there. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm going to move right along to answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. And if you do have any other comments or questions for me, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to answer as many of the comments and questions as I possibly can, but for those comments and questions I'm not able to respond to, I do try to pick some of the more popular ones to answer in the next video in video form. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into the first comment of today's video, which is from Karen. Karen says, do people on unemployment receive a stimulus check? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Karen. And yes, even if you're currently receiving unemployment insurance benefits, you'll also be eligible to receive the direct payment as well. Of course, the only thing that would make you ineligible to receive a direct payment if you are also receiving unemployment benefits is if you are being claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax returns. This is because, unfortunately, as we all know, dependents over the age of 17 were not eligible to receive the first two stimulus checks. Okay, moving along to the next question in today's video, which is from Adelia. Adelia says, hi Josh, are adult dependents going to receive the stimulus? Okay, thank you so much for your question, and as far as the next direct payment goes, whether or not adult dependents will receive it is still up in the air. As mentioned in my previous answer, adult dependents were unfortunately not eligible for the first two direct payments. However, in the Cash Act, which was passed by the House a few weeks ago, dependents even over the age of 17 would have been eligible to receive the money. So if in this next relief package, if the qualifications for the direct payments are anything like the Cash Act, then it's quite possible that adult dependents will be eligible to receive the $2,000. With that said, since nothing is set in stone, I'll definitely make sure to keep you updated one way or another. Alright, moving along to the next question in today's video, which is from Linda. Linda says, if you move to another state, but keep the bank in which you received your last stimulus check in, would you still get your check in that bank account even though you moved to a different address? Okay, thank you so much for your question, Linda. And yes, even if you move to a different state, you should still receive your direct payment to the bank in which you received your first stimulus check in. This is because the IRS is depositing these checks in the bank that you received your last tax refund in, or whichever bank you added to the payment portal for the first round of payments. So by you moving to a different state, it shouldn't affect you receiving your payment. Of course, even if you were expecting a check to be sent to you in the mail, as long as you have mail forwarding set up, you should be able to receive your payment that way without any problems as well. Okay, moving along to the next question in today's video, which is from Cindy. Cindy says, how do I apply for the $600 stimulus if I haven't worked for 2 years? Okay, thank you so much for your question, and there's actually no real application process in order for you to receive this money. Since you haven't worked in the last 2 years, I assume you didn't file a tax return for the 2019 tax season either. Since you didn't fill out a tax return last year, then the IRS would have needed you to fill out the non-fillers tool in order to receive this money. Of course, if you did receive your first direct payment of $1,200, then you should be receiving the $600 without taking any sort of action. In that case, I would check the payment portal, which can be found on the IRS website, to check for any updates. Now, if you didn't receive the $1,200 first direct payment either, then what you'll need to do is fill out a tax return this year, even though you didn't earn any income, and claim $1,800 in credits. This $1,800 would be a combined amount from the first two direct payments that you missed out on, which you would be eligible as long as you aren't being claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax returns. Alright, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so, and it's a great support to me. Also, if you'd like to receive 4 free stocks from Webull, with 2 of them valued all the way up to $1,600 each, or 1 free stock from Robinhood just for signing up, please feel free to claim those free stocks by clicking the link in the description box below. And finally, if you join Rakuten with my referral link in the description box below and spend at least $20, Rakuten will give you $20 cash back. This means that you can buy that item through Rakuten with one of their referral links, such as Nike, for $20, which would be right around $22 after tax, and Rakuten will give you $20 just for making that purchase. This is just an incredible deal that I would love for everyone to take advantage of. Okay, so until next time, I'll see you guys, and I hope you have a great day today.